Hey guys, just want to show you me using the new spreader from powerspreaders.com that we purchased over the winter. We've been really happy with it so far. It's made life a lot easier in the heat, especially when you're trying to push around a heavy spreader in thick grass in the middle of the summer. So we've been really pleased with it thus far. Let me grab some fertilizer here. So we're using a 15015 fertilizer, perfect for our warm season grasses, particularly centipede, because it does not like phosphorus. This fertilizer also has micronutrients as well. We use different fertilizers during the year. Sometimes we use an organic based fertilizer from Green County Fertilizer. We use some of their liquid fertilizers, but we found we weren't getting a super long residual with those fertilizers, meaning that, you know, if we were only out here every 5, 6, 7 weeks, the fertilizer would have been used up, you know, after 3 or 4 weeks, and the lawns would have lost their color. So using a granule like this with the frequency that we're coming out, definitely seems to help. We still do use that liquid on some rounds, but in the middle of the summer we do granular. If I was in Florida where we were maybe treating 10, 12 times a year as opposed to 7, and we were going every month, I would probably switch to a liquid program. Okay, so I'm going to show you this thing operating. Go ahead and crank up my fertilizer here. The battery on this thing is absolutely phenomenal. Like, it'll easily do, you'll never be able to use this battery in one day. I wish our other equipment was like that, but this battery, I think you could probably treat about 200,000 square feet. And, it would be very hard for anybody to ever walk that amount. This is a new customer that, we've been mowing their grass for a couple years, but they just signed up for our weed control program, so this lawn is still really thin. I believe they have some damage here. They've either sprayed something on their own or tried to put down some kind of weed and feed or something. You can see this backyard looks much better. You'll notice this thing does have a chute blocker. Well, it's kind of like the same as a mower, but this thing has a blocker on the side, or deflector really. It's a chute blocker on a mower. But that keeps the fertilizer from shooting out to the right, or most of it anyways, and you would use that to, you know, cut around your property and get a nice defined line between the neighbors. We don't use them. The problem, and most big companies don't use them, is because, you know, it's just one thing that can go wrong. And if you know, if you start out on this property and you put your blocker down and you're, you know, cutting out the perimeter or whatever you're cutting out, and you forget to put that back up, as a result, you're going to stripe that yard up, and you're going to stripe up any other yards that you happen to do before you realize that that chute or that deflector is down. So with us, I've just got it zip tied up, and it's just not worth the risk. It would be nice to get a nice clean line between the neighbors, you know, that domination line, but it's just not worth the risk of, you know, striping up a bunch of lawns. These fast straps work really well. This is what we used for our mean green mower before, and they're just a really quick way to secure your equipment. I think each one is rated up to 700 pounds, and this thing's only like 120, so you know, we're well under capacity, but you know, one or two of those for a large mower works perfectly. Gate here. All right, so now what we're going to do is I've fertilized. Now I'm going to pull my hose and spray for weeds, and we're going to go ahead and typically if the lawn's one that we've been treating and it's pretty clean, we'll just take a backpack sprayer and spot spray. But for one like this that just signed up and they've got a lot of weeds, it's much faster just to broadcast and a lot more effective to just broadcast spray the whole yard. So that's what we're going to do. I did actually buy a GoPro, as I told you all in a previous video. I was going to start doing more of these types of videos, but I figured out the GoPro is just such a pain in the butt to upload, to get online. So I'm actually using my phone right now with a GoPro mount, because I can just easily add these videos to a Google Photos album, and you know, Ibrahim and the guys in the office can edit them. You can access that shared album very easily. With GoPro, you have to upload them on your computer. It takes forever. Their app crashes all the time if you try to upload that way. And I'm just not very tech savvy, and I don't want to spend that kind of time on the videos as of yet. So this is a quick way for me to do it and have it automatically upload the videos. The only problem is the camera lens on my phone is not nearly as wide as a GoPro, so you know, you can't see everything going on right now. I'm trying to get some of those little clip-on wide angle lenses you can put on your phone, but I haven't found one that I'm happy with yet. What I'm spraying right now is two different products. One mainly for broadleaf weeds is called Celsius. It's a very safe product. It's very popular. It's very expensive, but it's a good product. It kills a wide array of weeds and mostly broadleaf, but it'll kill some grassy weeds. I've also got something in here called Dismiss, which is very powerful for different types of sedges, particularly Kalinga and yellow nut sedge, which are really blowing up right now. But those two mixed together are a really good combination. You can run them both at pretty low rates like I am, and they will actually help each other be much more effective. So, you know, Celsius by itself would probably start killing these weeds. It takes a while. It takes 4 to 6 weeks to start burning up these weeds, but when you add the Dismiss, these weeds will be yellowing up within days, and you know, I expect them to be gone within a couple weeks or so. So just a very nice combo. You see here, I'm just kind of, this backyard is very clean because it's thick. There's very few weeds. I'm just kind of spot spraying. The number one best way to have a weed-free lawn is to have a thick, healthy lawn. A thick, healthy lawn will choke out the vast majority of weeds. You'll see most of your weeds in thin areas that are weak or having issues, such as this little drainage area right here where this stays wet all the time and the grass probably has disease and it dies out, and you know, allows those thin spots for stuff like that to penetrate and take over. I'm gonna spray into the neighbor's yard a bit to try to keep these weeds out of my customer's lawn. But if you treat warm season grasses like me, if you're in Florida or Texas or Louisiana or anywhere along the southern United States, dismissing Celsius is a very good combo. So this yard has a ton of little yard trinkets, which drive me nuts. You know, when they get the little $1 or $2 solar lights, and it looks like they've got some of the ultrasonic mole traps. So as a result, I'm not able to pull the hose that way without breaking that stuff. So I'm going to pull the van up here and go ahead and spray the other side of the yard real quick. This is typical of the yards we treat. This one's a little bit simpler than some, but you know, this is a typical size that I love, you know, for 3,000 to 5,000 square feet. Not much complexity at all. You know, just easy. That's our bread and butter and what we love. Nice simple yard. You can see they probably these are probably urine from, well, either these people, it's hard to tell with this yard. It looks like either they've tried to spot spray themselves and they sprayed weeds with Roundup. Could be dogs walking along here and urinating in these spots, because that will kill our grass. But it looks like they've tried to treat their own and then learned that maybe it's just better to let a professional take care of it. Especially centipede grass is very unforgiving and easy to kill. It's easy to over fertilize, it's easy to over treat, it's easy to over water. So, you know, it's a very unforgiving grass. And the sad thing is, you know, if you over treat it and you try to get it nice and thick and you green it up, it'll kill it in the long run, because centipede's just not made to handle a lot of nitrogen and a lot of fertilizer. It's not meant to be a thick, dark green grass. It's just not that animal. And a lot of our homeowners are transplants from up north with cool season grasses, and they're used to their grass being super thick, super, you know, dark green, and they try to get this grass to look like it. It looks okay for a couple seasons, and then it goes into what's called centipede decline, where it starts dying off in large areas. And unfortunately, unlike cool season grasses where you can just seed, you know, reseed and have a whole new lawn in a matter of weeks or months, you know, with these types of grasses you have to sod. So you know, you're not going to be able to get centipede seed to germinate. It's very difficult. So instead of, you know, spending a couple $100s on a bag of seed or whatnot, you know, you're going to be spending many thousands of dollars and a lot more labor resodding your entire lawn when you kill it. I wish grass was able to handle it, because there would be nothing better for our business than to, you know, turn people's lawns super dark green like here across the street and super thick. But I don't want to be replacing a bunch of lawns when they start dying off over the next couple years. It's just not that kind of animal. If somebody wanted to resod to a different grass type like Bermuda or Zoysia or St. Augustine that you know, might have some of those qualities, that's what we recommend. But you know, we're just in a part of the country where centipede is 95% of the lawns, and it's what we have to deal with. It's an awesome spray rig from Barry at Florida Sprayers. I have been very happy with our upgrades we made this year. Adding that extra tank has made upselling a lot easier. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my Ego blower here to, I'm using the 650. I haven't used the new one yet. We do have some other blowers that I keep telling you guys about that we're not able to share yet, that are like 800, 850 CFM, that just, This thing feels like a toy after using those, but unfortunately we're not able to share them yet, but I hope we are very soon. Although these are awesome blowers, but you can definitely tell a big difference. It's really important to blow your driveways and your hard surfaces off, concrete areas and stuff off really well, because especially if your fertilizer has iron in it, which is the vast majority of granular fertilizers. Otherwise you get these. Probably isn't from fertilizer, but you get these rust stains from the iron. They're actually not very hard to get up. You can use a toilet bowl cleaner like Lysol 10X, and it will, remove the stains if you have them on your concrete. But again, you don't want to be making unnecessary stains, so take a lot of time to make sure you blow off the granules from the surfaces. All right, so this property is done. These granule applications do take a lot longer than our applications where we're putting down pre-emergence in the spring and fall, because with those we only have one step. We're just spraying the whole lawn like I did with the hose and taking off. With this, you've got 3 steps. You've got to put down your granular fertilizer, you've got to blow it off, and you've got to spray your weeds. So the summer applications take a lot longer, and they're also a lot more expensive because fertilizer is so much more expensive than other products typically. So you want to make sure, if you're offering this program, you want to try to make sure you're signing people up for the full year and not letting people just try to come in and get their fertilizer applications and then bail because you're not really making any money, or making a lot less on these applications. So we require people to sign a contract for the year, and if they cancel for whatever reason, there's stipulations in that contract that they have to pay the surcharge for these treatments, for those treatments that were done if they didn't finish the full program, because like I said, there's just so much more time and cost involved in these. Last and most important, we want to put our sign out, because although we pick up a lot of business from being here, for this 20-30 minutes, and people drive by and see us and they stop and ask for information, the reality is that most people will not see us while we're here. So these signs will actually be sitting here for hours or days or weeks or months sometimes. A lot of our customers, we pick up the old one when we do the next application in 5 to 8 weeks. So we've gotten a little small billboard with free advertising during that time. So you want to make sure you put these out. It's also very important just for safety. It's not required to put these out in South Carolina, but we put them out. It's a policy of ours, because if somebody's walking their dog, we don't want them, we want to make sure we notify them that we've treated that lawn, and we don't want them walking their dog in the lawn 5 minutes after we leave and the lawn is still soaking wet with herbicides or insecticides or whatever you might be spraying. So it's really important to put those out for that reason as well. That's a typical application during the summer, and let's go do another one.